Thank you. So welcome everybody. I'm a PhD researcher from Tunisia, studying the representations of the heritage through the cinematographic pieces of art. And I'm interested to participate in this conference in relation with the cooking rituals which are illustrated in the movies of science fiction, fiction, sorry. So, let's start. Okay. According to the Convention of the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, which took place in Paris in 17th of October 2003, the intangible cultural heritage relies on the practices, the representations, expressions, knowledge, skills, as well as the instruments, objects, artifacts, and cultural spaces associated therewith. So, the culinary heritage of every nation can be classified simultaneously in more than one domain of the intangible cultural heritage. It can be illustrated in both the oral traditions and expressions, including language, the social practices, as rituals and festive events. In addition to the traditional craftsmanship, I will demonstrate in each step how does the culinary heritage belong to each link of the intangible cultural heritage domain. So the culinary heritage of a nation may figure in oral traditions and expressions, including language. As many cuisine behaviors, regardless the related ethnicity and religion, are characterized with some vocal ritual messages, which may distinguish culinary heritage of a nation through the linked expression to a rite. For example, the case of saying Bismillah Allahu Akbar, which means in the name of Allah, Allah the Greatest. It's said while practicing the Islamic slaughter called dhabiha in order to make eating the sheep meat halal, means blood, or the Christian short grace prayer before lunch in which they say, God is great and God is good, and we thank Him for our food. By His hand we all are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Besides, there is also a Jewish prayer before eating fruits that I mentioned as an example, in which they say, which means, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the tree. I just say, pronounce the English pronunciation because I'm not able to correctly pronounce the Jewish expression. So, culinary heritage of a nation is also manifested inter alia in the domain of social practices, rituals, and festive events, as in addition to the specificity of a dish with its sweet taste and the mixture of various ingredients, its presentation way may be artistic in order to highlight its aesthetic and festivity through a celebration. I mentioned the example of the International Party of the Chili Pepper and the Harissa, which is organized every year as a collaboration between the Tunisian Association of Culinary Arts and the Association of Safeguarding Nebel City. This event takes place every year on October in Nebel Governorate, part of the Kaaba, in the northeast of Tunisia. So another axis of belonging to the traditional, to the culinary heritage, the traditional craftsmanship, which is another manifestation of the culinary heritage, which figures in craftsmen producing of traditional handmade kitchen tools, such as what we call mehrez, and that we use to grind spices. This is an illustration to the tool and the traditional work of the handman. So foods like the Tunisian famous brick blouarqa with the handmade dot, or the French pot au feu cooked over low heat, and the Italian pizza margherita, the famous one, have intimate linking between the culinary practices and the daily rhythm of life. which made many societies from different geographic sites, different cultures or different religious beliefs distinguished at the international scale with culinary rites that we can describe as being identitarian, typical, even specific to the gastronomy of the related society. We can identify cooking rituals of each country as identity to this country in the international level. Culinary practices with customary character in close connection with the religious occasions follow the path of inheritance from one generation to its successor, either through the practice in family during mystical celebrations such as the baptism with water pouring ritual for the Christians. Another example for the Christians, the rice throwing, replacing cereal seeds for prosperity and fertility, or from grandmother to grandson by illustrating them verbally or by practicing them together. So, such means of communication, which is word of mouth, can submit a culinary heritage dating back to centuries and eras from the far past to the risk of extinction if the heritage culture of cooking rituals is not safeguarded. It can be extended. So the illustration of such heritage through the masterpieces of the seventh art perfectly accomplishes this lack and facilitates the acquisition of the culinary heritage to a wider audience in a more simplified way, leading to the safeguard of a culinary right being part of the intangible cultural heritage of each country. I will illustrate some examples of Tunisian fiction movies. Wanting to dissect some cinematographic representation which illustrates some culinary practices with a ritual dimension in order to guarantee the acquisition of such rights, classified as cultural identity by the general public, as well as ensuring the safeguarding of such culinary heritage by inter alia, the cinematographic heritage of the related nation. I may talk about French cinema, Arabic cinema, otherwise, ensuring also the worldwide propagation once a movie is projected in the framework of an international festival or distribution or production. So, this is a general figure that I will mention with detailed part. Graphic summary through which I classify the different kitchen food rituals by subdividing them in three big themes. The culinary rites illustrated in cinematographic artworks may be subdivided on religious rites, daily rites, and feast rites. In addition to the subdivision of the rites according to the celebration of the most important station of the human life cycle, we can talk about feast rites from birth, the birth event, to the first tooth appearing of a baby, the event of circumcision practiced in many religions, the wedding ceremony, and the death. According to the religion also of the characters figuring in the film, we can find religious rites which are related to the Jewish religion, the Muslim religion, or the Christian one, without forgetting the daily culinary rites which encompass common dishes and sweets, such as the famous couscous, common for all rites in Tunisia. We can find it in celebrations or daily. In addition to the confectionery common for all rites that I will mention with detail. So, I will classify the examples of the selected shots from the movies with the themes related to Tunisian feast rites or Tunisian religious rites, classified in Christian, Jewish, and Muslim, as I said, in addition to the daily life rites. So the birth, which is the first event in life, for its preparation, since the 9th month of pregnancy, a Tunisian future mom, with her family's help, should prepare a recipe that we call zrir, a fusion of crushed dried fruit, among which the sesame grains represent the basic ingredient, together with the butter, the honey, and the sugar, and to which we may add the other dried fruits, such as almond, hazelnut, pistachio nuts, without forgetting the pinyon for decoration. As a welcome gesture full of love to the guests who visit to congratulate the mother, we may serve small glasses containing 2 to 3 spoonfuls of zreer, almost like confectionery. This is an example of its illustration, its way of presentation in a little cup decorated with the pinyon fruit. In addition, this recipe is recommended also for any new mom, advised to eat this delight to recover all her strength after the pain and the blood lost during the childbirth. So it's not just for celebrating or for welcoming guests. Besides, it's recommended for mom because it's full of vitamins, making them easily recover. I'll mention the example of the presentation of the zreer preparation. It's in the movie Khoshkhash, the English name Flower of Lyon, made by Salma Bakar in 2005. We find Zakiya, the heroine, settled in an insane asylum, seeking for recovery for her addiction to the calming plant Khoshkhash that she has used during her childbirth to decrease her pain. While talking to her friend in the courtyard, a flashback takes the audience to her past while she was pregnant. A woman from the bourgeoisie of Tunis preparing with her housekeeper and her mother-in-law the zreer for her child's birth. I will show you the example, an extracted video from the movie Khoshkhash.
قديش استنيتها؟ قديش تمنيتها؟
سابقك قلت صار لي فيها بنية
ما لفيت حاجة في فمي شيطان إن شاء الله.
So, here is the best pen which illustrates the zreer preparation rituals, as we find the future mom refining the sesame grains with the rorbel, which is a traditional sieve, a copper cooker, and a wooden bowl, in addition to the housekeeper touching the pregnant belly and guessing the gender of the baby. After a birth, the mother and her new angel are deeply welcomed from the family at home. Grandmas habitually try to protect them against envy with the brazier full of incense that we call khour. This is an extract from the Tunisian movie Al-Haditha, the accident made by Rashid Kershir in 2007, which illustrates such a ritual. Sorry. Found a problem too. Anyway, so this is a capture from this shot, the most summarizing to this rite, in which we find through the use of a canoon, a pottery full of firebrands to which we add incense to make good smell. The grandma tries to expel the evil spirits while welcoming the mom and the baby. I would like it to show the video, but it doesn't work. It doesn't matter. So later, after the birth and with the appearance of the first tooth of a baby, the Tunisian families celebrate an event that we call Karkouche. The Karkouche celebration was illustrated in the Tunisian movie Sant El Qussour, The Silence of Palaces, made by Moufidat Ledli in 1994. Fortunately, it works. When she visited the palace where she was born, and while touching the necklace that was her aunt's gift, the heroine travels in a flashback which illustrates the occasion of having got this gift, the Carcouche celebration of her first tooth. It's a flat bowl made of esparto containing a cocktail of dried fruits, sweet and dragée, which should be poured over the head of the baby, then taken and eaten by kids around him or her, as a hope that she or he will get a healthy mouth with a virtuous tongue in future. This is Tunisian behavior. The Carcouche is no more frequently celebrated nowadays. Just some regions still do it. Then such a movie safeguards this ritual culinary ritual. Sorry. The circumcision is one of the world's most widely performed procedure. Approximately 37 to 39% of males worldwide are circumcised, about half for religious or cultural reasons. Such a ritual and how celebrated by Tunisian Muslims was perfectly presented through the movie Halfewin, Child of Terrace, made by Farid Bourdir in 1990.
لما تجميع الحبايب لما تجميع الحبايب على فرحتك يا مفايب
The shot starts by calming the mom and reducing her hurts by the housekeeper who puts her feet on a fresh water. It's a behavioral right which is practiced only by the Tunisoise women, I mean the women which live in Tunis, the capital. Once the circumcision made, a jar is broken in the courtyard, making the children gather around to collect sweets and nuts. Such a ritual is doubly linked to the culinary traditions, first by the traditional kitchenware handmade of pottery, then by the habit of kids' attraction by sweets and nuts in order to immerse the circumcision in a childlike environment. The wedding is a magic station of the human life trip which creates a balance in a couple's life. Even for the same nations, rites of wedding celebration may vary from one region to another. Djerba, for example, is an island in the southeast of Tunisia, which inhabitants are characterized, among other Tunisian citizens, by their specific clothes and lifestyle. Mawsim Rijal, the season of men, deserves to be considered as the best illustration of and safeguarding of the Djerbian rituals, style of life, habits, clothes, behavior, and social contact. The Djerbian wedding ceremony has its own specificity if compared with other regions of Tunisia. Once the wedding ceremony is finished, the couple starts its intimate life with a ritual that allows bringing to each other chance, love, and fertility through the exchange of some honey, the real sense of honeymoon. The death is the last step of a human life path which celebration in any religion is commonly distinguished with respect, sadness, and the loss of a close, important person. By subtracting the bodies of the martyrs who should be buried as they are, garnished with their blood, as a sign of their sacrifice, every body of a dead person should follow the ritual of purification, and each religion has its funeral rites symbolizing the passage from the life to death, a set of acts, gestures, and words which is codified, according to each religion, of course. The Muslim funeral rite was illustrated with details through the short fiction movie Tayyib, The Master, made by Anwar Lahwar in 2011. I would like to show the sequence. Sorry. It doesn't work. Anyway, this shot from a fiction short movie documents the funeral ritual during which the family of the lost parent should put in the room where the purification ritual takes place a cup of milk, a candle on a plate, and a portion of bread, thinking possible he's getting up while waiting all the night for the funeral in the next day, or thinking that he may have another life. The Tunisian religious rites, varying between Christian, Jewish, and Muslims. Tunisian citizens, either they were Muslim, Christian, or Jewish, are distinguished with many religious rituals of kitchen related to the religion of each other. Their behavior was well represented through the movie Sif Halqalwaid, A Summer in La Goulette, made by Farid Bourdier in 1996. Sif Halqalwaid is a splendid masterpiece which illustrates an heterogeneous, peaceful mixture between three neighbors from different religions living in the same building peacefully. The agreement of the three families figures many times in their behavior as, although the difference of their religion, they peacefully exchange their dishes, making each other taste his neighbor's one. I don't know if the video works. Does it work? Anyway, the Christian Tunisian neighbors from Italian origin have a distinction in their habit while eating. They systematically eat the pasta calda. Italians are internationally distinguished with their multiple types of pasta, which means that the eating should take place as long as the dish is still warm. That's why the mother brings her daughter back to the table while she was about to get out, asking her to eat the pasta calda. The Jewish neighbor asked his Muslim one to light up the cooker instead of him in order to cook eggs, as the engaged Jewish are forbidden to light the fire every Saturday. And his Muslim neighbor made it peacefully for him. This culinary ritual was perfectly represented in a discussion between Jojo and Youssef, a shot from the movie A Summer in La Goulette.
Tu tombes bien. Ok.
جو بنعرف ايش قام متزوج في حموده القواجي في الحكايه مو tu as quelque chose à me dire j'ai dit directement je suis assez grand pour ça j'ai pas la peine داخل في حموده
Quel Hamoud, de quoi tu parles? Ma femme, elle a été à Tunis avec sa sœur. Et on n'a plus de briques aux pommes de terre pour le magasin. Et j'ai plus d'œufs durs. Tu peux m'aider?
je peux t'aider fais
Non, fais. Tu sais bien qu'on est samedi aujourd'hui.
ouais.
Non. Samedi, je peux pas allumer le feu, je peux pas toucher du tout le feu. Jusqu'au coucher du soleil.
Ouais.
Tu sais bien, c'est à toi que je vais rappeler ça.
ايه انا اشتغل العمل
Comme d'habitude. Tu vas, tu allumes le feu et tu me fais bouillir ces œufs. Tiens, quoi. Allez.
الله يهديك جوجو
Là, je suis avec la
باهي باهي ميرسي تحبش حاجه اخرى tu veux que je t'allume la lumière زيادة
Non, je laisse. C'est pas la peine. Il fait assez.
Pétain, est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Oui.
We should stop now, but you can conclude in 3 minutes if you want, and maybe we can we can take time. I'm really sorry. We can take 5 minutes at 1:30 if you want for questions, because we will have to go eating now.
Okay. So I just show the. Sorry, I was about to show many examples. Then I finish with the last diapo. All the mentioned examples of illustrations and many others may lead us to confirm the vision of the cinematographic masterpieces as a safeguarding mean to the heritage of every nation. And not only the kitchen is full of heritage, any section of our life is distinguished with inherited specificities from previous civilizations, making possible their safeguarding against extension through the cinematographic masterpieces, such as the inheritance of architecture figuring in contemporary constructions, the traditional habits which can be worn by comedians, leading us to confirm that the seven art is a spoiled, priceless mine, which may ensure all the heritage preservation. Thank you for your attention.
So, thank you, Feden. So, as I said, we have to go meeting now. I'm very sorry. But if you can, be there at 1:30, if it's okay for you. We will take 10 minutes at this moment for the question of the audience. Is it okay?
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Welcome.
On the other side. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And see you in 1 hour.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So for the meal, it will be just on the house behind us, and we will close the door here so you can left your luggage and all the things.
Merci beaucoup, Féten. Je suis désolé pour le timing. J'ai fait vraiment de mon mieux pour raccourcir. L'intervenante qui doit être là à 13h30, pour le moment, n'est pas là. Donc, on aura a priori le temps de prendre 10 minutes pour échanger un peu avec le public.
D'accord.
D'accord.
Je coupe la communication et retourne dans 1 heure à peu près.
On reprendra à 13h30.
D'accord.
À tout à l'heure et merci beaucoup. C'était vraiment intéressant.
Merci. Au revoir.